Let me tell you about a kind of tired that makes no sense at all. It happened to me on a Sunday, 7 in the evening, sunk into the couch, and I was wrecked, bone tired, heavy eyelids, not wanting to get up even for a glass of water. And here's the thing. I hadn't done anything, literally nothing. No workout, no project, no cleaning. I drifted all day between the couch, the bed, and the fridge, and still, at bedtime, I felt like I'd run a marathon. Then came the guilt, which is always first to arrive. How am I tired if I did nothing? What is this laziness? Where's my discipline? If you've had that Sunday, and I'd bet you have, stay here with me, because this is one of the most misunderstood feelings of modern life. And once it clicks, it lifts a huge weight off your back. Because the guilt is wrong. You did nothing, and your body is telling you the truth. You're exhausted. Both things are true at the same time, and the only way to make that fit is to find out what actually happened that day. So let's do it together. Like a detective looking at a crime scene where nobody died, but somebody clearly burned through all the energy. Let's take the obvious suspects, one by one, see which one falls, and follow the one that's left all the way down. Recoup. First suspect, laziness. It's the explanation everyone hands you, including you. You're tired because you're lazy, except it doesn't hold. Laziness doesn't tire you out. If laziness were tiring, it wouldn't be laziness, it would be work. A genuinely relaxed day should leave you lighter, not heavier. When you take a few hours to do nothing and come back refreshed, that's rest working. On your Sunday, the opposite happened. So laziness doesn't explain the tired, it only explains the guilt. And honestly, the guilt was part of the problem. Hold on to that piece, we're coming back to it. Second suspect, the still body. I lay around all day, being still is tiring. There's a grain of truth here. Hours in the same position leave the body sore. But think about it. In a night's sleep you stay almost completely still for 8 hours and wake up rested. Being still, on its own, isn't the villain. A cat lies around all day and doesn't have a tiredness crisis at 7 in the evening, so the still body is an accomplice, at most. Not the killer of your energy. We need to dig deeper. Third suspect, and now it heats up. The phone. Because your Sunday of nothing probably wasn't nothing, it was screen. Hours scrolling the feed, jumping from one short video to the next, opening the app, closing it, opening it again 30 seconds later without even knowing why. And here's a real clue. Every time you swipe to the next video, your brain runs a tiny calculation. Is this interesting? Worth it? Next. It's a minuscule decision. The problem is the quantity. On a Sunday of scrolling, you make thousands of those micro decisions, one after another, with no break. And deciding is tiring. Researchers have a name for it: decision fatigue. Your capacity to choose is a tank that drains over the day, and it doesn't matter if the choice is between 2 jobs or 2 cat videos. It's the same tank, and every swipe takes a gulp. There's a cruelty in how scrolling fools you. It feels like rest because it takes no effort. The next thing just arrives on its own. But real rest recharges, and scrolling does the opposite. It's the junk food feeling. Hours of it and you're still hungry, only now you're queasy too. The rest that doesn't rest. And even so, the phone alone doesn't close the case. Because people who spent their Sunday nowhere near a screen, reading, napping, staring at the ceiling, got to the evening just as worn out. So the phone speeds the problem up. It's not the root. The root is quieter, and it's the one we came hunting for. Let me ask you something and answer it honestly in your own head. That Sunday on the couch, with your body still, where was your mind? I'll tell you where mine was. On the email I never answered. On the hard conversation I'd been putting off. On the appointment I needed to book. On the message I'd left on read that was now awkward to reply to. My body was on the couch, but my head was running through a house full of open doors, trying to shut them all at once, and shutting none of them. Notice something strange about that state. You were never actually off the clock. There was no boss in the room, but there was a boss in your head, reminding you every half hour of everything still undone. Technically you were resting, but you never clocked out. And this is where the investigation turns the corner. Because there's a mechanism of the mind, discovered almost 100 years ago, that explains that invisible boss exactly. In 1927, a researcher named Bluma Zeigarnik noticed something odd about the waiters in a café. They could remember, with striking precision, every order that hadn't been paid for yet, table by table, who ordered what. But the moment the bill was settled, the order evaporated from their memory, gone completely. She took it into the lab and found the pattern. Your mind holds an unfinished task with far more force than a finished one. Something incomplete won't leave you in peace. It stays switched on in standby mode, pulling a thin thread of energy all the time in the background without you noticing. This got the name the Zeigarnik effect. And it's the heart of everything. Everything you didn't finish, the email, the call, the decision you pushed to later, doesn't disappear when you sit on the couch. It opens a tab in your head and leaves the tab open. Think about your phone. One open tab doesn't seem to weigh anything, but open 40 and the whole device starts to drag, to heat up. The battery vanishes. Each tab alone is almost nothing. Together they eat the whole machine from behind in a process you never see running. Your mind works the same way. And on your Sunday of nothing, you didn't open a single new tab, but you didn't close any of the old ones either. You spent the entire day holding 40 tabs open at once, working on none of them, just holding them so they wouldn't fall. If you got this far and felt that shiver of recognition, that weight, that's exactly it. That shiver is the reason this channel exists. We're the kind of people who notice the invisible gears of our own heads, who keep looking at what everyone else walks right past. If that's you, you're among your own kind here. Because there's still one more layer, and it closes the case. It's not just that the tabs stay open, it's that your mind goes back to them on its own, without asking permission. Scientists at Harvard ran a huge study pinging thousands of people at random moments of the day, asking what they were doing and where their head was in that instant. The results startled even them. Almost half the time we're awake, almost half, the mind is not on what the body is doing. It's off traveling, chewing on the past, rehearsing the future, replaying that argument that already ended. And here's the cruel detail. The free day is exactly when that travel happens most. A day full of tasks pins you to the present, one thing at a time. An empty day leaves the door wide open for the mind to go visit precisely the 40 tabs that hurt. The free day didn't give you too much time. It took away the walls that kept each worry in its place, and now they spin loose all at once with nothing to pin them down. You felt this in the small version, a song stuck on loop in your head, an argument you keep rewinning in the shower. That's the mind going back to an open tab without you telling it to. Now multiply it by 20, all spinning at once all day. That's the background noise of your Sunday. So put it together. The body rested, but the mind spent the whole day on 2 heavy jobs at once, holding the tabs open so they wouldn't drop into forgetting, and visiting them over and over, rehearsing, worrying, blaming. That's not rest. It's background work. The most tiring thing there is, because it never ends. An engine running all day without ever leaving the garage. And there's a physical cost to this. It's not drama. Your brain is a hungry organ, and it can't tell the difference between solving a hard problem and spinning the same unsolved one for the 20th time. To it, both are effort. There's even a name for part of it: attention residue. When you jump from one open task to another without closing the first, a piece of your attention stays stuck on the one before. You get up for water still thinking about the email. You try to watch the movie, but half of you is on the call you still have to make. You're never fully anywhere. And being half present in 40 places all day tires you far more than being fully present in one. Now you can rebuild the scene, mystery solved. You on the couch at 7 thinking you did nothing. The truth is you did the most tiring thing possible. You carried a whole day of unfinished things without finishing any of them. Doing nothing, the way we do it now, isn't rest. It's holding everything in your lap and never setting anything down. That's why you ended the day emptier than you started it. And that's why the guilt was unfair. Laziness didn't tire you. The guilt about it just opened one more tab. I should be producing, I'm wasting the day. One more thing for the mind to hold. And here's where it flips inside out, almost funny. If the tired doesn't come from doing too little, then real rest isn't doing even less. That's what we try and it fails. We sprawl deeper, scroll more, and come out more tired because the tabs stay open the whole time. Real rest isn't emptying the schedule, it's closing the tabs. And closing a tab is much simpler than solving the problem behind it. You don't have to answer the hard email right now. You just have to get it out of your head and put it somewhere outside. Jot down bank email Monday morning. The second the task has a defined place in the world, your mind gets permission to let it go. It's exactly what happened with Zeigarnik's waiters. The instant the bill was settled, the order left their heads. It's not the end of the task that frees you. It's the end of the uncertainty about it, the mind knowing the thing has a time and a place, and that it can stop holding on. There's a second way to close a tab, and it's the most powerful. Deciding on purpose. Not this, not today. Not putting it off out of laziness. Choosing in plain words, this task does not live in my head this weekend. It has a marked day to come back. A decision closes the tab just as well as finishing it, because it removes the uncertainty. The mind only chews on what's still up in the air. Give the thing a floor and it stops floating. Shoo. So next time one of those days comes, and you feel that senseless tired, try something before you blame yourself. Take the subjects running in the background, the 3, 4, 10 that keep coming back uninvited, and give each one a place. Not to solve it, just to get it out of your head and put it somewhere you trust you'll find it again. Close the tabs before you take the day off. Then when you lie down, you'll be lying down whole. And maybe for the first time in a long while, the rest will actually work. Because you were never tired for no reason. You just never saw the work you were doing the whole time, in silence, hidden behind the word nothing.